The 1970s gave us some of the most iconic music in history. But while everyone remembers the mega hits, there were dozens of incredible songs that somehow slipped through the cracks of our collective memory. These weren't failures, they were just quietly brilliant tracks that got overshadowed by the decade's biggest names. Today, we're bringing them back into the spotlight. Here are 10 underrated 1970s songs you forgot were awesome. Number 10. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, by Looking Glass. In 1972, a New Jersey band called Looking Glass released a song about a barmaid in a port town who falls for a sailor. The track hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 that summer. But ask most people today about Looking Glass, and you'll get blank stares. Brandy tells a simple story. There's a girl who works in a harbor town tavern, and there's a sailor who loves the sea more than he could ever love her. The song captures that bittersweet moment when you realize someone's heart belongs somewhere else. Lead singer Elliot Lurie wrote it after seeing the name Brandy on a bottle, and the band recorded it as part of their self-titled debut album. The production has this warm, radio-friendly quality that was everywhere in the early 70s. The string arrangement swells at just the right moments, and Lurie's voice carries genuine emotion without overdoing it. That whistle-along melody in the chorus became instantly memorable. Looking Glass never managed to replicate this success. They released a few more singles, but nothing caught fire the way Brandy did. The band broke up in 1974, just 2 years after their moment in the sun. But this song endured in its own quiet way, showing up in movies and TV shows decades later. Number 9. Ventura Highway. Ventura Highway painted a picture of California freedom that felt both dreamy and real. The song came from Dewey Bunnell, who wrote it about driving up the Pacific Coast and the feeling of endless possibility that came with it. The opening guitar riff is instantly recognizable, bright and jangly in a way that perfectly captures sunshine and open roads. The harmonies between Bunnell, Jerry Beckley, and Dan Peek created this layered vocal sound that made the song feel bigger than its simple structure.
Where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than...
What made Ventura Highway special was its atmosphere. It wasn't trying to make a grand statement or tell a complicated story. It was just about being young, being free, and watching the world go by from a car window on the California coast. The alligator lizards in the air, the free wind in your hair. These weren't deep metaphors. They were just images that felt right. The track peaked at number 8 on the charts, which is respectable, but it never achieved the same iconic status as some of America's other work. Maybe that's because it's such an easy song to take for granted. It flows so naturally that you almost forget someone had to write it, arrange it, and capture that perfect laid-back energy in a recording studio.
Ventura Highway in the sun.
Number 8. Moonlight Feels Right, by Starbuck Atlanta Band. Starbuck released this summer night anthem in 1976, and for a brief moment, they owned the airwaves. The song hit number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, but somehow it's become one of those tracks that people recognize without quite remembering who sang it. Bruce Blackman wrote and sang lead on Moonlight Feels Right, and the band built the entire track around this infectious marimba riff. That percussion choice was unusual for mainstream rock at the time, giving the song a tropical, breezy quality that made it perfect for warm weather. The rhythm section locked into a groove that just invited you to move. The song is pure escapism. It's about those perfect summer evenings when everything aligns, when the temperature is just right, and the night stretches out ahead of you with endless possibilities. Blackmon's vocals have this relaxed confidence, like he's sharing a secret about how good life can be when you're not overthinking it. Starbuck tried to follow up with similar material, but radio had moved on. They released a few more albums through the late 70s and early 80s, but never recaptured that chart magic. Still, Moonlight Feels Right remains a perfect time capsule of mid-70s FM radio, when stations weren't afraid to play something a little different if it had the right vibe. Number 7. Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Jim Seals and Dash Crofts released Summer Breeze in 1972, and it became their biggest hit, reaching number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. The duo had a string of successful songs throughout the 70s, but this one captured something special. The song opens with that gentle guitar pattern that immediately sets a mood of comfort and peace. Then the vocals come in, smooth and perfectly blended, singing about coming home at the end of a long day. The production is clean and uncluttered, letting the melody and harmonies do the heavy lifting.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
What made Summer Breeze work was its simplicity. It wasn't about dramatic romance or heartbreak. It was about appreciation for small pleasures, for the feeling of walking through your door and having someone there, for jasmine in the air and curtains blowing in the breeze.
See the smell waiting in the kitchen, food cooking on the plates for two.
The song found beauty in the everyday. Seals and Crofts were known for their soft rock sound and their incorporation of their Baha'i faith into their music and lives. They approached their craft with a sincerity that could have come across as corny, but instead felt genuine. Summer Breeze exemplified that approach perfectly. A song that was earnest without being naive. The track has been covered countless times by artists from different genres, from the Isley Brothers' funkier version to Typo Negative's dark reimagining. But the original still has that special quality, that ability to transport you to a peaceful summer evening, no matter when you hear it.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine.
Number 6. Only 16 by Dr. Hook.
She was only 16, only 16.
Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show had several hits in the 70s, but Only 16 from 1975 showed a different side of the band. While they were known for their humor and novelty songs, this Sam Cooke cover was straightforward and heartfelt.
She was too young to fall in love.
Ray Sawyer's distinctive vocal delivery, recognizable from the band's earlier hits, brought a worn, lived-in quality to this tale of young love remembered. The original Sam Cooke version from 1959 had that smooth soul elegance, but Dr. Hook's interpretation in the mid-70s had a different texture, rougher around the edges, but no less emotional.
She was only 16, only 16.
The production kept things simple: acoustic guitars, gentle percussion, and those signature Dr. Hook harmonies that could sound both playful and sincere. The song looks back at first love with a kind of wistful nostalgia, remembering when everything was new and intense and slightly overwhelming.
So why did I give my heart so fast?
Dr. Hook had a knack for finding songs that connected with audiences, whether they wrote them or covered them. Shel Silverstein penned many of their biggest hits, giving them material that balanced humor with genuine emotion. Only 16 fit into their catalog as the tender side of that equation, proof that the band could do heartfelt just as well as they did funny.
She was only 16, only 16.
The single went top 10 in several countries and reinforced Dr. Hook's status as one of the most reliable hitmakers of the decade. But like many of their songs, it's been somewhat forgotten in favor of their more novelty-oriented material.
Now she was only 16, only 16.
Number 5. Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. Here's one that actually was a massive hit, reaching number 2 in the United States in 1978. But somehow it doesn't get mentioned in the same breath as the decade's true giants. Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street deserves to be remembered as one of the defining songs of the late 70s. That saxophone riff is one of the most recognizable openings in rock history. Raphael Ravenscroft played it, and it became so iconic that people assumed it was the hook the whole song was built around. But Baker Street is so much more than that intro. The lyrics paint a picture of urban alienation and the search for something better, something more meaningful than the cycle of work and escape. Rafferty wrote it during a frustrating period in his career, dealing with legal issues and management problems. The song reflects that exhaustion and disillusionment. The Baker Street in the song is a London Underground station, and the lyrics describe someone stuck in patterns they can't seem to break, dreaming of a different life but unable to make the jump. The production is layered and sophisticated. Beyond that famous sax line, there are the electric guitars that build throughout, the steady rhythm section, and Rafferty's weary but smooth vocals. Everything works together to create this mood of late-night introspection. Baker Street was a worldwide hit and helped make Rafferty's album City to City a success. But Rafferty himself was ambivalent about fame, and he retreated from the spotlight not long after. The song remains his signature achievement, a perfect example of how commercial appeal and artistic substance don't have to be mutually exclusive. Number 4. The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia by Vicki Lawrence.
That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
In 1973, actress and comedian Vicki Lawrence, best known as Carol Burnett's sidekick on The Carol Burnett Show, released a song that went to number 1. The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia wasn't what anyone expected from a television personality, and it became one of the decade's most memorable story songs.
That's the night that they hung an innocent man.
Bobby Russell wrote it, and the narrative is pure Southern Gothic. It's a murder ballad with twists and turns, telling the story of a man accused of killing his wife's lover, only for the truth to be far more complicated. The song plays out like a short film, with vivid characters and a shocking ending. Lawrence's delivery is matter-of-fact, almost conversational, which makes the story more effective. She's not overselling the drama, she's just telling you what happened that night in Georgia. The production is clean country pop, with acoustic guitars and subtle strings supporting the narrative without getting in the way.
That's the night that the lights went out in Georgia.
What's remarkable is that this was Lawrence's only major hit as a singer. She recorded other material, but nothing else caught fire the way this did. It was the right song at the right time, with the right voice. One of those perfect alignments that can't be replicated.
The Georgia Patrol wasn't making their rounds, so we fired a shot, just a flag.
The song was so popular that it spawned a movie in 1981, though the film took significant liberties with the story. But the original recording remains a masterclass in narrative songwriting, proof that a well-told tale never goes out of style.
That's the night that they hung an innocent man.
Number 3. Shannon by Henry Gross.
No one can even begin to tell.
Henry Gross released Shannon in 1976, and it became an unexpected hit, reaching number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song is a tribute to Beach Boy Carl Wilson's dog Shannon, who had died. Gross and Wilson were friends, and the song emerged from that personal connection. It's an unusual subject for a pop song, a heartfelt elegy for a pet, but Gross made it work by keeping it genuine. The melody is beautiful and mournful, with acoustic guitars and strings creating a gentle, melancholic atmosphere. Gross's voice carries real emotion without tipping into sentimentality. The song resonated with anyone who'd ever lost a pet, which turned out to be a lot of people. It tapped into that specific grief that non-pet owners sometimes don't understand. The way an animal can become such an important part of your life that their absence leaves a real hole. Gross had been the guitarist for Shannon before going solo, and he'd released several albums before Shannon finally gave him a hit. The success was bittersweet. It came from a place of genuine sadness, but it connected with audiences in a way his other material hadn't. He continued recording throughout the late 70s and beyond, but never matched Shannon commercially. Still, the song endures as a touching moment in 70s pop, a reminder that the best songs often come from the most honest places. Number 2. Afternoon Delight by Starland Vocal Band.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some air.
This might be the most controversial entry on our list. Afternoon Delight went to number 1 in 1976 and won the Grammy for Best Arrangement for Voices. It's been parodied, mocked, and designated as everything from kitschy fun to genuinely awful. But here's the thing. It's actually a well-crafted pop song.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
Bill Danoff wrote it, and yes, it's about exactly what you think it's about. The innuendo isn't subtle, but the arrangement is clever, with those tight 4-part harmonies that give it a sunshine pop quality. The melody is infectious, and the production is pristine mid-70s soft rock. The story behind the song is almost as memorable as the track itself. Danoff wrote it after seeing Afternoon Delight listed on a menu at a Washington, D.C. restaurant, where it referred to a happy hour special. The phrase stuck with him, and he gave it a different meaning entirely. The song came together quickly, and the band recorded it without much fanfare, not expecting it to become the phenomenon it did.
Started out this morning feeling so polite, I always thought a fish could not be.
The Starland Vocal Band consisted of Danoff, his then-wife Taffy Nivert, and John Carroll and Margot Chapman. They could really sing, and their blend was distinctive. The 4 voices locked together in a way that was reminiscent of groups like the Mamas and the Papas, but with a lighter, more contemporary touch. The problem was that they became known for this one novelty hit, and nothing they released afterward could escape that shadow. Radio absolutely devoured the song in the summer of 1976. It was everywhere, playing multiple times a day on stations across the country. That kind of saturation can be a double-edged sword. People loved it until they were sick of it, and then the backlash set in. Critics who had initially praised the group started dismissing them as a one-trick pony.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
They even got their own variety show on CBS in 1977. The Starland Vocal Band show ran for 6 episodes and featured an unknown young comedian named David Letterman. But the show never found its footing, trying to recapture the breezy charm of the song in a weekly format. It was canceled after 1 season, and the band's momentum was broken.
Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together.
The band broke up in 1981, their legacy forever tied to this one slightly naughty pop confection. Danoff and Nivert had actually been successful songwriters before Starland Vocal Band, co-writing John Denver's Take Me Home Country Roads. But Afternoon Delight overshadowed everything else they'd done.
Afternoon delight.
If you listen to the song without the baggage of its reputation, it's a solid piece of AM radio ear candy, the kind of thing that made the 70s such a diverse musical decade. The harmonies are genuinely impressive, the melody is well constructed, and the production has that polished sheen that defined middle-of-the-road pop at the time. It deserves better than to be just a punchline.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
Number 1. Escape, the Piña Colada song by Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes released Escape in late 1979, and it became the last #1 hit of the decade. Everyone knows it as the Piña Colada song, and everyone remembers that chorus, but the verses tell a story that's more interesting than people give it credit for.
If you're not into yoga, if you have...
It's about a couple who've grown bored with each other. The narrator spots a personal ad that intrigues him and responds, planning to meet this exciting stranger. Of course, when he shows up to the meeting, it's his own girlfriend who placed the ad. They've both been looking for escape, both been feeling the same restlessness, and they find each other again through their shared desire for something new.
That you like piña coladas, getting caught.
The twist is clever, and Holmes delivers it with a light touch. The production is polished late 70s pop, with that distinctive piano part and smooth vocals. It's catchy enough to be a radio hit, but smart enough to reward closer attention to the lyrics.
If you like making love at midnight in the dune.
What makes the song work is how it balances humor with genuine insight. The setup is almost comedic. Two people in a relationship, both looking to cheat, both responding to personal ads. But underneath that is a real observation about how couples can drift apart even when they're still together. They've stopped communicating, stopped paying attention to each other. And it takes almost losing each other to realize they still want the same things.
I'm the love that you've looked for. Right to me and it's...
Holmes was a successful songwriter and arranger before becoming a performer. And he brought that professional craftsmanship to everything he did. He'd written songs for The Drifters, The Platters, and Dionne Warwick. He understood pop structure, understood how to build a hook and pay it off. Escape was his breakthrough as an artist, though he never had another hit nearly as big.
Falling into the same old routine, so I wrote to
The recording itself has this effortless quality, like it just rolled out of the studio fully formed. The piano riff is memorable, without being overbearing. The rhythm section keeps things moving without pushing too hard. Holmes's voice is friendly and conversational, which makes the storytelling feel natural. He's not performing the song at you, he's sharing a story with you. The song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in December 1979 and stayed there into January 1980, making it a bridge between two decades. It captured something about the late 70s, a certain self-awareness, a willingness to laugh at ourselves, a recognition that relationships take work and attention.
If you like piña coladas, getting caught.
Holmes went on to write for theater and continued working in music. He created the mystery musical Drood, which won Tony Awards. He wrote novels. He had a varied and successful career. But this song is what most people remember, and there's something fitting about that. It's a perfect pop song, the kind that does everything right while making it look easy.
I'm not much into health food. I am into shit.
Like several songs on this list, Escape suffers from being almost too familiar. People know it so well that they don't really listen to it anymore. It shows up at beach parties and tropical-themed events, reduced to that chorus about piña coladas and getting caught in the rain. But it's worth revisiting, worth remembering as one of the last great pop storytelling songs before the 80s changed the game completely.
I've got to meet you by tomorrow noon and cut through all...
The song also represents a particular moment in radio history, when adult contemporary stations would play something with wit and sophistication, alongside the rock and disco hits. There was room on the dial for clever, well-crafted pop that didn't take itself too seriously, but didn't insult your intelligence either. That's the sweet spot Escape hit, and it's part of what made the 70s such a rich decade for music.
That you like piña coladas, getting caught.
The 70s gave us an incredible variety of music, from the singer-songwriter movement to the birth of punk, from disco to southern rock. These 10 songs represent just a fraction of the great music that's been overshadowed by the decade's biggest hits. They're worth rediscovering, worth sharing with friends who might have forgotten just how good they were. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, hit that like button and subscribe for more musical deep dives into the songs and artists that shaped our lives. What underrated 70s song do you think deserves more recognition? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and keep those memories playing.